AOP have been released by WWE. This just happened. I do not have any heavy details as of now, but this is a gigantic dropped ball on WWE's behalf for any number of reasons. These guys came over in about 2014, 2015, made their impression felt in NXT, got really good really fast. They had Paul Ellering as a manager, and they were brought up to the main roster. I felt like there was plenty more for them in NXT. They were brought up to the main roster, and for the last 2.5 years, haven't been doing anything. There were times when one or the other was injured. Rezar has been out with an injury for quite a while. Akam had been out with an injury for quite a while. But you're looking at two people in that sirloin beef sons of bucks division, as we say, that could have been really good. And they were really good. Also, Akam's 27 years old. Rezar is 26 years old. We'll talk about their future momentarily, but they were brought up to the main roster. They were given Drake Maverick as a manager. All due respect to Drake Maverick, that wasn't a good fit. Malcolm Bivens should have been hired and made their manager straight out of the gate. Paul Ellering, it wasn't going to work. Malcolm Bivens would have been a great manager for them. Could have added some light to what they do. That didn't happen. Instead, they had storylines where their manager got his coat peed on, and they would just be left off TV for months. WWE does this thing where if they don't have immediate, huge plans for you, for a lot of people, you just aren't on TV. We see it with Bianca Belair. We saw it with Shayna Baszler. We've seen it with any number of wrestlers that get brought up. They won't be used. If WWE thinks that you have that potential, but don't have immediate plans for you, well, you're just sitting down. Rezar got hurt earlier this year, and Akam, they just had him sit out. They didn't have him hang out with Austin Theory and Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy and serve as the muscle. Oh, no, they had him sit out. It's frustrating. I could probably look at how much time they actually got to spend on the main roster, and it is not good. It is not a real good indication of where WWE's creative is. Because I'm going to sit here and look at this. The Authors of Pain were brought up in April 2018. They worked some Raw matches, and by May, they were on main event. By July, they really weren't doing a whole lot. They were off TV for a month there. August, September, October, November, December, ish. They were working some stuff, but they were off TV all of 2019. Hardly at all in 2019. Then, bam, off TV again once March happened. So they've missed half their time on the main roster. It's rough. Where do I see they could go? I'm Eloquent sends a super chat and says, get them on Impact or New Japan. Tim Travers says, way to go, WWE. Yeah, it's hard to look at this and not see this as a fumble on WWE's part. Man, my hair is wrecked right now. Pardon me, viewers. But I think they've got an immense amount of talent. And AEW, they got to be in the running. Also, if I am a good manager, I'm quitting my job. I'm hitting them up and saying, let me manage you. So we're going to talk about their backgrounds. Akam was a really good amateur wrestler. He wanted to qualify for the 2012 Olympics. It didn't quite happen. He was a prospect for 2016, but Gerald Briscoe scouted him, brought him over. He was a silver medal in the, I think, Mexican Guadalajara Pan American Games 9 years ago. He's 27 years old. If he wants to pursue that, maybe. Rezar was an emerging name as an MMA prospect. He was 6-2, but you're talking about 22 years old back when he did this. This was 6 years ago. He hasn't fought in 6 years, and he's 26 years old. His sixth win was in April 2014, where he choked out Ole Thompson in about 18 seconds. Now, I know a lot of you aren't going to know who Ole Thompson is, but for a 22-year-old to beat a UFC veteran, that's pretty good. Ole Thompson's still doing it. He's 21-12, so he's not a scrub. He's mainly a strong man. He's up there in age, but 6 years ago, he was still in his physical prime, and Rezar beat him. Now, Rezar got an opportunity in Bellator on Bellator 130, and he got knocked out or TKO'd by Daniel Gallimore. And that kind of put a halt to things. Gallimore isn't great. He's not fighting anymore, but that's the nature of the heavyweight division. Rezar was a prospect back then. Rezar very well could be a prospect. He's 26 years old. And I know a lot of you probably don't know how heavyweight MMA works, but you're in your prime as an MMA heavyweight until your mid to late 30s. That's just the nature of it. No weight cut, a thinner division, at least as far as depth goes. There's a lot of opportunity there. Quite frankly, if Rezar wanted to train MMA for the next 5 years while he's doing pro wrestling, or the next 10 years, he could move over into MMA in 10 years and maybe do okay. That's where we're at. I am of the belief that WWE did Rezar very wrong. Akam very wrong. Brian Medina says, could you see Rezar in Bellator? 100%. We have seen Rezar in Bellator. We saw Rezar in Bellator before he was Rezar. We saw him when he was Zim Selmani. I posted a big thread about MMA or pro wrestlers that were MMA fighters. And Rezar is a guy, I think he was doing judo from the time he could walk. He was doing kickboxing before he was a teenager. He trained in MMA. I think he had some kickboxing experience as well. And WWE snatched them away. Like, these aren't just two big lugs. Let me just let you know that. These are not just two big lugs. They often played that, but they were two accomplished amateurs. I mean, not even amateurs. Rezar was a pro MMA fighter. Akam was a very accomplished amateur wrestler. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities for them. I don't know why they got released. I don't know if there's more to that. I don't know if there is, if there's a story behind this. I'm going to work to find out. Nick Thomas says, are there more releases coming? I don't have a clue. I have not heard of any as of right now. If there are, we will definitely keep you updated, but I've not heard any at this time. It's just a little bit surprising. And WWE has come to the terms on the release of Akam and Rezar. We wish them all the best in their future endeavors. So they got the respectful goodbye. I'm shocked. I'm shocked that even in this environment that they would let them go. Throwback says, could it be a possibility they could consider Impact? They could be a perfect fit with the tag division they have. Yeah, not only would they be a perfect fit, they would really enhance it. You've got the Rascals. You've got the North for now. Good Brothers, Ace Austin and Madman Fulton. You got a lot of Motor City Machine Guns. They would be an amazing addition. To me, the two front runners got to be New Japan and AEW. Those have got to be the best so far, or the biggest so far. But you never know. What if Ring of Honor drops in and says, you know what, we want those guys? Because that would create some buzz. Them and the Briscoes, sign me up, man. Sign me up. Guys, I'll be back here tonight to do the post-SmackDown show with Jeremy Lambert. I'll be bringing you scrums from AEW. We'll see. Somebody says, no way New Japan signs AOP. You don't know. They very well could. Till next time, guys, we're out.